welcome to the first ever episode of the Adult Algorithm Podcast. Enter clapping noises here. I wanted to do a couple disclaimers for the YouTube channel just because YouTube and making videos and podcasting are so different. I just wanted to add this little bloop in here. One, I want to make this as raw as possible. I am going to edit everything to the podcast, so hopefully it's almost the exact same experience, except I'll do a little more of an intro on my YouTube, and I'm going to hopefully look like this every time because it's been a journey growing from waking up at 5 a.m. every day to do your makeup and straighten your hair to trying to be natural and your best self. So I want to look like this every time. If I look fancy, then I probably have a guest on or something, but I really do want to be as raw and transparent as possible. On top of that, I want to wear a t-shirt every episode that represents some part of my life or that should be shown. I have some fun t-shirts coming up that promotes some amazing content or charity, so get ready for that. And yeah, this is a little behind the scenes of our podcast as well as podcast episodes, so get ready and here we go. By the way, a con of YouTube, sometimes I'll film and record on different days or different times of the day, so I might look different, so that's just a little PSA as well. Okay, now let's get into the episode. Welcome to the very first episode of the Adult Algorithm, and I'm your host, Jasmine Johnson. If you can't tell already, I have the biggest smile on my face because I'm just so excited to be doing this right now and that it's all come together this well so far. I just want to say so many things, but first I'll say thank you so much to all the supporters that have been here the past 2 weeks that I've announced it. It is crazy how fast September came. It's crazy how fast the 14th came, and I've had so much fun talking to everyone, reconnecting with people, and getting my word out there and getting the podcast out there. It's really been so awesome. Today, the episode will be on a couple of things. One thing I'll talk about today is what has inspired me to do this podcast, as well as how am I allowed to even be talking about these things? What have I learned along the way that is just so important that I need to be telling everyone? And where I've come from, and making sure that I'm completely transparent and as genuine as possible, because this is the hashtag no sugarcoating show. That is our thing. That's our saying, because I don't want to be sugarcoating anything. I don't want any of my guests to be sugarcoating. I don't want to be. And if I do, then please call me out because it needs to happen. And in the second part of the episode, I'll be talking about how I, as well as some of our listeners, have been staying motivated during quarantine, as well as all of the 6 months of the coronavirus so far. I really am so excited to be doing this, and I'm excited that you guys are coming along for this journey with me. What has inspired me to do this podcast are a couple of things. A couple of factors go into this. One is I've been listening to podcasts for a really long time now, probably since my sophomore year of high school, and they're awesome. You can listen to them anytime. You can listen to them in the car while you're cleaning your room. But to be honest, I've always been more of a YouTube girl. I did YouTube, sort of. I vlogged all 4 years of high school. I did a little bit of vlogging my freshman year of college, but it just really wasn't going anywhere. And at the same time, I didn't care. I loved it so much. I loved creating those memories and recording those memories for people to hear, and just seeing the growth of where I've come from in high school to now is just awesome to see, and I wouldn't have had it any other way, even though they're very, very embarrassing. So embarrassing. So I feel bad because in high school I would just, shove the camera in people's faces and be like, all right, you can talk into it. And some people were really, really absolutely not. And some people were so for it every single year. If I could shout out every single person in every vlog I had, I definitely would. That's not permission to go look up my vlogs, by the way. But I just loved podcasts and YouTube, and I loved hearing people's stories. And I just feel like I'm at a point in my life where I should be the one telling my story now and giving other people the advice that I wish I was given when I was younger, or that I was given when I was younger, that has helped me go through this process of being an adult so far. Like I said on my announcement video on my Instagram, I just really did miss that creative side of me, because when I came to college, I did get involved in way too much, and everyone told me I did, and I did not listen to them whatsoever. And I probably should have, but at the same time, those extracurriculars that I got involved in, and working more and getting involved, just has given me amazing opportunities that if I didn't do all those things, I can't even think about where I would be right now. Probably not as as such a successful college student right now. So I'll be talking probably a little bit more about that later, what that means, but it has just given me a leeway into so many different avenues of what I can do from here on out in college, as well as what I'm going to do after college, if that makes any sense. But again, I'll probably explain that a little bit more later, of the extracurriculars that I've gotten involved in, as well as work and volunteering and all that. And before I talk about that, another reason that's kind of been in the back of my head, and that's a little bit like funny, of why I've done this podcast, is because my senior year I did the school announcements, and one of my history teachers that I had for civics, PK, always said, you need to do radio, or you need to do newscasting, because that, like, this is for you, this is going to be your future career. And I was like, yeah, okay, this will be like my backup plan. So it's just funny that I'm doing podcasting now, because it's very similar to like talk show or radio and all of that stuff. So it's always just been in the back of my head, and it's just funny to laugh at now. This is like low-key hard, staying on topic so much, because I just, as you can probably tell already, in the however many minutes this podcast has been going, I just go onto side conversations so quick, and then I forget my original thought. So this is going to be such an adjustment, and we're going to get through it. Anyways, like I was saying before, so what has gotten me here, and why am I even allowed to talk about these things? Well, let me give you basically my resume and why you should trust me, and why I should be giving you advice, and why you should even be listening in the first place, and making sure that you have a good host who will bring good guests on, and qualified people at the same time, is very important. So I'm gonna let you know. So again, my name is Jasmine Johnson, and I am your wonderful, amazing, talented host. I am 20 years old, turned 20 yesterday. Woohoo, Virgo season. I go to the University of Rhode Island. I'm an accounting major with a textiles, fashion, merchandising, and design minor. And I'm also a talent development scholar, which is something I will be talking about in later episodes, but is a very important key to who I am. On and off campus, I am involved in a lot of things that have just completely changed my life over time, starting with, I am currently a sales lead manager at a retail store near me. I don't know if I can name drop them yet, and I don't know if that's like a liability or if I'll get sued, so we're gonna check that out, and one day I will absolutely talk about my job and the impact it's left on me. But I've been a sales lead manager for about a year now, and it's been awesome. I've loved it. I've worked at the same place since I was 16 years old, so you can probably find out where I work if you've known me for a while, or if you have me on Instagram. But I absolutely love working there. It's an awesome environment. It's the people who make me stay, and I'll probably stay there until I graduate with my master's degree. The second thing I'm involved with off campus is, also since I was 16, I've been a coach of a youth cheer team. I've seen these girls grow up, and it just makes me feel so warm inside, because that's the same thing that happened with my coaches. They've seen me grow up over time, and it's very similar to that feeling. And it just makes me want to stay in cheerleading because of them. They made me stay. Like, sometimes I'd want to leave, and I just couldn't, because I just love watching them grow up, and that's been such an amazing experience. How I got into coaching is one of my really close family friends who actually coached me my very first year of cheerleading when I was like 10 probably. She recruited me to coach with her, or be her student demo when I was 16, like I said. I was still in high school, I was also still on a cheer team for Pilgrim High School, and it was a whirlwind of craziness those 4 years, really, like, absolutely insane. I would probably need an entire episode to talk about everything that went on and that I learned about in high school cheerleading. But I was voted captain when I was a sophomore, and ever since then it just went uphill from there. I started coaching, and then once I graduated high school and started going to college, I wanted to still be involved without coaching at the same time, even though I stayed. But I started being a choreographer, which is something I was really passionate about in high school, and I loved doing it, and I still love doing it. But because of coronavirus, no cheer teams are kind of going on right now, so I haven't really been able to do that, unfortunately. But I've always loved cheerleading. As for what I'm involved in on campus is, one, I'm a URI 101 mentor, which is kind of like a mini professor because we do have a class. It's me and another co-mentor with me. We teach a class of first years the resources and basically how to college in a 1 credit class for them. And it is required for all incoming first years. It's an awesome program. I 1000% recommend, especially if you're going to the business program at URI. And hopefully more schools have that type of program that you can look into as well. And on top of that, I was a NABA secretary last year, which is the National Association of Black Accountants, which basically has taught me to build my resume. It's a lot of soft skills. It's given me a huge network of people, how to make a LinkedIn. Basically has given me the professionalism skills that I was searching for this entire college career. So I did that my freshman and my sophomore year. In sophomore year, I was secretary, and it's taught me how to public speak as well, even though I just stuttered. Oh my gosh, sorry, my laugh. Goodness gracious. It's also taught me interviewing skills, which I actually won a contest in one time when we went to do mock interviews. And speaking of professionalism, which is the number one word I probably say every single chapter, I am also the vice president of operations for the sorority of Delta Phi Epsilon at URI, which has been an amazing time. And of course, I'm going to talk about Greek life and sorority life because there, one, are so many stereotypes and misconceptions that need to be like squashed, and two, there are so many misconceptions and stereotypes that are true that I will absolutely be talking about because, again, this is a no sugarcoating podcast. Anything you want to know about Greek life, I'll tell you the truth, because why would I get in trouble for telling the truth? That's the bottom line. And I absolutely have loved it. Yes, again, a lot of people are scared to join Greek life, which I understand to a point, but it really does give you amazing leadership and philanthropic opportunities that I would never have had if I didn't join. I have done so many things with our 3 philanthropies that, again, I would have never even crossed my mind if I did not join a sorority, unfortunately. So good thing that I did. I've learned and met so many girls along the way and learned about their lives and their majors and all the opportunities they have also had. So it really has been a good experience. And yes, people say, oh, it's like paying for friends. Yeah, okay. No, I'm kidding. It's really what it's about, and what the money goes towards just makes sense. And because I'm vice president of operations, I am in control of the money. I see the budget, I make the budget, and I give the budget to our sorority. So being in this position has made me realize it's way more than about paying for friends, which is the stereotype that needs to be absolutely squashed ASAP. Through NABA, I've done 2 amazing case studies that were so hard, but at the same time it prepared me to do a case study with the company that I would eventually be internshipping having an internship in, and it really did prepare me for that. As well as I've done 2 commercials for URI. One is not out yet, but one of them was a PSA for COVID. I've done 2 modeling gigs. I've been on the roadshow for kind of modeling. I was wearing a bridesmaid's dress, just standing there basically. And all these experiences basically gave me the confidence to do this podcast, because it just shows the people who support you and the people who don't, the people who hate on you to hate on you, and the people that encourage you to do more projects and things like that to get your name out there and make sure that you're branding yourself in the right light, because branding yourself is one, huge in professionalism and huge in business, because if you want to get anywhere, you are going to need recommendations, you are going to need people on your side, and to get people on your side, you need to be yourself, you need to be truthful, and you need to be a good person overall. You might be a hard worker, but if you're not a good person, then it's not going to get you anywhere, which might be not true in some cases. If you fake it till you make it, then you fake it till you make it. But branding yourself is very important, and I'm going to just leave it at that. And my latest accomplishment has been, I recently, this past summer, had an internship opportunity, a virtual internship for 4 weeks. It originally was supposed to be 8 weeks, and we were supposed to be in the office. I was supposed to be in Boston, but with coronavirus, we did a virtual 4-week internship, which was still really awesome. They still gave us all the skills we needed for next summer if we were invited back, and I was invited back for next summer to do another internship, one that's a little bit more advanced and could hopefully keep getting my foot in the door to hopefully get a full-time job offer after my 5th year of accounting. So it was with a Big Four accounting firm. I don't think that I should mention the name until I get permission, like my job. I don't want to say anything to get them in trouble or me be linked to the brand, because here's the tea. If you saw that TikTok, a girl, and I think she was either starting off or she was an intern. She had, sorry, this wire is like in my way. Sorry if I was making noise. But she had a job or an internship there, and she made a TikTok, and the TikTok was definitely, it was not in good character for her. Like, it did not put her in a very good light, and people knew that she internshiped or worked for them, and she got fired. So I'm not trying to do that, because again, I'm not sugarcoating anything. I'm going to be truthful, and I'm going to be real, and I don't want their name on anything that is not within their values. So unfortunately, I probably won't say their name for a long time, or maybe ever, but just know that it is a very, very good company. It's an amazing firm, and I absolutely love it there, and hopefully I'll stay. And again, I wanted to talk about these things, not to sound like I have a big head and not to brag, but to really assure all of you that I am, qualified to be talking about these types of things. And if I'm not, then I'm going to bring someone in that is. There's not a professional college student, there's not a professional millennial or Gen Zer. There's people who have had experiences, and there are people who haven't. And this is why jobs interview, because they want to make sure that you've learned from your mistakes along the way, and that you are going to be a good team leader, you're going to be a good teammate, a good sportsmanship, but to make sure that you have these skills and these soft skills that are going to make you not only a good worker, but a good person in the workplace. So with that being said, I want to thank you for listening so far and letting me and allowing me to be completely transparent and open as to why I've been motivated to make this podcast so far. So let's move on to our next topic. So moving right along with this amazing first episode so far, I have come to you with some tips on how to stay motivated during this really, really hard time. And believe it or not, it is currently September 2020. We have been in quarantine / dealing with coronavirus for 6 months now, which is insane to think about, because we always used to say, oh, these months are going by so slow, but in reality, they went by so fast. Like, I started school, and it's like walking into class with masks and seeing everyone with masks, even the professors, and the protocols we need to take now is just absolutely wild to see. You would never think in January, you would never have imagined that in September, this is where we would be right now. So I'm here to tell you a little bit about the motivation tips that I have given people, as well as some of our listeners have commented on our Instagram and have told me personally. So here we go. The first tip sounds like a really easy tip, and it sounds like something you should be doing anyways, even if we were not in coronavirus. However, it is a big part of it, and it's surround yourself with people that have the same goals as you. Like, get rid of draining people in your life, because during this time you only need positive. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need that negative energy of any sorts, because it's already a hard enough time, right? Life is already crazy, the world is already crazy, but adding this on top of it just obviously keeps you not motivated anymore. So you need people that are going to motivate you around you and going to keep you on top of your toes and going to make sure you're taking accountability for yourself, your mental health, your physical health, and whatever you're passionate about too. Because if you surround yourself with the people that you need to surround yourself with, like people that you love or really close friends, they know you well enough to know that if you're starting to get off the tracks, that they need to bring you back. The second, again, something that we would think is easy but actually is very hard, is doing one thing that makes you happy. And with that being said, that's again day-to-day life you should be doing. However, it's been a lot harder because you're trying to focus on keeping yourself positive, but you're also trying to focus on, getting back to work, getting back to school, getting back into that daily routine. And sometimes you just forget to do things that make you happy because you're so focused on your daily routine. So try and add something that makes you happy in your daily routine. Like right now, it could be daily, weekly, monthly, but something that's going to keep you motivated and keep you on your toes. So for me, it's this podcast. It's already making me very happy, and it's, getting that creative side out of me, like I keep saying, and it's something that is going to keep me on my toes and motivated during this time. This is a big one. It's doing one thing productive each day. Again, might sound easy, however, especially during this time, it's very easy to get sucked in to, waking up at whatever time you want, going to bed at whatever time you want. I know for me, for about a month, I went to bed at like 4 a.m. and was waking up at like noon. That's so unhealthy and not good for you. So I know some people can't help it, and that's just how their daily routine is. However, making sure that you're doing one thing productive each day is so important. Like, when I went to bed and I didn't do anything productive, I just felt worse about the day more than I already had, because we were stuck at home, absolutely doing nothing. And in my head, I'm like, how did I absolutely not do anything today? So whether it's small, like making your bed, or big, like cleaning the whole house, or getting work done for school or work, it's really important to implement that in your daily routine so you're used to it every day. Number 4 is a really awesome one, and that's be in the moment, because time flies. And like I was saying before, it's been 6 months since coronavirus/quarantine has started. Obviously, it's still going on. Things are still not reopened to their maximum capacity. I know where I work, we're only allowed to have 12 people in the store, even though it is a very, very big store. Even when I went to school today, we're all 6 feet apart. Being in the moment is very important, because it's like doing the one productive thing each day. It's crazy how fast it goes, and you don't want that time to be wasted, because you're never going to get that time back. So these past 6 months, make sure that if you haven't already, you are using your time wisely. You're investing your time and money into things that are going to help you in the long run. Number 5 goes along with a lot of our other tips. However, it's important on the daily that you make sure you keep these things in check, is your mental and your physical health. And during this time, it's even more important than it already is. And when people think that mental health is not an important issue, it just is going to lead them down the wrong path, especially during a time like this. So making sure that you're taking advantage of the resources that are out there. I know as a university student, we have free resources to many mental health resources out there, and I hope that a lot of other universities do that as well. And if not, then I know a lot of companies have apps as well as resources that can help with mental health as well, like motivation apps and meditating and, you know, goal setting apps, all things that are going to help you in the long run as well as your physical health. I mean, I forgot to drink water for like so many days in a row, and you start to develop that headache, and it's like, how did I forget to drink water? That's just a little step of it. Whether, again, it's meditating or stretching or working out, making sure that you keep an eye on these things is, I can't even express how important they are during this time, because when you don't pay attention to them, it takes such a toll on your body. Like, even if it's mental health, I know for me, stress breaks me out into a fever or tonsil stones, which is really gross, and I can't believe I just said that, but it's true, and it like makes my throat close, and that obviously takes effect on my physical health now. So if I don't pay attention to one, it affects the other. So making sure that we're doing that and using the resources out there for this time. And the last tip I have for you today is something that I always have to keep in mind, and that I had to put on this list because I need to remind myself of it, is to not stress over things that we can't control. This is something that needs to be chirped in my ear every single day, because I tend to have a tendency to try and control things that I have absolutely zero control over. And especially during this time, we just need to adapt and change in the way that we need to. That's just the bottom line. To make sure that you are in control of yourself. You know, you can't change other people and their views or what they do. That's on them. That's their business. And you just have to make sure that you are doing all the right things at all the right times, and making sure that you are staying motivated, you are making yourself happy, you are staying productive, and you're in the moment, and making sure that you're taking care of your mental and physical health. You know, unless you have kids, this is something that is very hard to control and can't be by yourself. So you just need to focus on yourself. And it's hard to hear, I know, because I hate hearing it and I hate telling myself it, but really it's just as simple as that. If you can't control it, then you can't stress over it. And as we approach the end of this episode, I want to thank you all so much for listening. I'm excited for our next episode and for you all to hear what we have in store for the next couple. And if you want to follow us on our journey, you can follow us at all of our social medias at The Adult Algorithm. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and we have some more platforms coming out soon. So I can't believe that's it. Thank you guys so much. And I'm very excited to help you all grow into your potential. And this is Jasmine with The Adult Algorithm signing off. Bye. Bye, YouTube.